Why does Bill Gates want you to swap your ribeye and burgers for crickets and lab-grown meat? And why did Ron DeSantis ban it in Florida? Ban all fake meat in Florida. What is up with that? And most importantly, what does all of this have to do with the health crisis in Black America? I'm Rosemarie Havsom, back again to help you take full control of your life by what you choose to put at the end of your fork. And these days, what you put at the end of your fork is not as simple as what you see in the picture and in the restaurant and what you see in front of you in the store. We have so much to unravel here. First of all, Bill Gates, it wasn't enough for him to be tampering with your Coca-Cola by putting nanoparticles in it. No, that wasn't enough for him. He had to go and touch on your protein because he claims that we need to improve our chances of having enough food to feed the gargantuan leap in the population of the world, or we're going to run out of food.
Eating insects is commonplace in lots of the world. It's just never caught on in the US. But some entrepreneurs think we're ready.
I'm Nicole Kidman, and I am going to eat a 4-course meal of bugs.
So All Things Bugs is my biotechnology company that I founded in 2011. Primarily, it got started to develop a food product for malnourished children using insects as a major food source.
This is a powder derived from the mealworm, and it's a insect protein just been approved by the EU for human consumption.
I am here to reveal my hidden talent, eating micro livestock, cornworms. They're still alive. Extraordinary.
Bill Gates is on a crusade against meat. He wants you to eat plant-based meat, lab-grown meat, and now he even wants you to eat literal bugs. No, really, he actually invested in not one, but 2 startups that are researching how to make bug protein to feed the world. After all, this guy is definitely the guy you want to take health advice from.
I guess it wasn't enough to try to inoculate people with questionable things in order for them to lose their ability to have children. But I digress, and that is alleged. So the thing that we need to keep in mind is that why is Bill Gates now looking at alternative protein? No, he says it's to save the environment. And a lot of non-meat eaters say the same thing. They came up with fake meat like the Impossible Burger and Beyond Beast Burger. And now Nestle has come up with the Super Burger. These fake meats are doing your body a disservice. It's making you sicker, weaker, and mentally unfit. Yes, I said it. It's leading to all kinds of inflammation in your body because these fake meats are made with the wrong kind of ingredients. And I wouldn't even say ingredients, components that are there to make you get sick, fat, and very ill. Bill Gates claims that he actually eats fake meats, and whether it is lab-grown or it is something like Impossible Burgers, he eats them and he enjoys it. Well, good for him.
Particularly as people get richer, they tend to eat more meat. If we don't do anything, this sector will actually grow over time.
So you're saying not just the fact that there's more people and a larger population, but as people move up towards the middle class, they want to consume more meat.
The one that has gone better than I would have expected 5 years ago is this work to make what's called artificial meat.
Do you eat it as well, or do you like it?
Absolutely.
The thing to remember is that not everything that is touted as healthy is actually healthy for you. And when you see that African Americans and Black people in America in general are at the bottom of the list when it comes to health and health outcomes, because we are more susceptible to preventable chronic illnesses, high blood pressure, type 2 diabetes, and overweight and obesity are things that are preventable when it comes to Black America and our health. But guess what? We are so busy eating the wrong kinds of food that we're not even awake enough. We're not mentally alert enough to realize that we're being hoodwinked. And Bill Gates has been behind so many things that are meant to divide us and to keep us low vibration. So here's the thing that you need to remember. Yes, we have a burgeoning population in the world, but does that mean that we really need to eat insects? So many people have said that there's nothing wrong with insects. They're a great source of protein. Well, go ahead if that's your thing. If that's your culture, go ahead and do that. But when it comes to fake meat, that's where I draw the line. Well, I actually draw the line when it comes to fake meat and when it comes to eating bugs. Sorry, not going to do it. Fake meat is a real problem because it's been around for a very long time. And I'm not just talking about Beyond Beef and Impossible Burger. I'm talking about actual meat that looks like real beef. But these are actually scraps of meat that are glued together with meat glue to make it appear to look like full pieces of meat. Now, there's been a lot of conspiracy theorists who are saying that this is not true, but take a look at this clip and tell me what you think about meat glue.
The steak here is actually multiple scraps of meat glued together with a powder called transglutaminase, or what the industry calls meat glue. Meat glue is an enzyme used to bind cheap meat scraps into what looks like whole steak. But the real question is, how is it affecting you? Now, here's what you need to know. According to a Journal of Food Protection study, these glued together cuts are 325% more likely to harbor dangerous bacteria like E. coli and Salmonella, because unlike a real steak, bacteria can seep deep inside. That means if you like your steak medium rare, you could be biting into a bacteria bomb. And the worst part, you won't even know you're eating it. Meat glue doesn't have to be labeled in restaurants and in grocery stores. It's hidden under names like restructured beef or formed beef. So how do you protect yourself? Buy whole cuts of meat from trusted sources, ask your butcher questions, and if a deal looks too good to be true, it probably is.
When you look at all of the lab-grown efforts to produce fake meat so that we can save the animals and save the environment at the same time, we have something that is shocking, because not only are they taking a few cells from these animals, so for a chicken, for example, they take cells from the egg and then they grow it in the lab. They do the same thing with beef and grow that in the lab also, and wait and wonder until it is big enough to look like real beef and real chicken. The problem is that we're not really seeing the long-term effects of eating these fake meats. But beyond that, do you see what I did there? But beyond that, we're also seeing how gluing these pieces of real meat together is doing something that's not right for the body. Because one of the things that can be produced from meat gluing these pieces of meat together is that bacteria like E. coli and Salmonella can get deep into the tissues of these glued together beef pieces and cause absolute chaos when it comes to gut health and health in general. Now, if you're not getting the benefits of eating real beef, which is iron, which is for men to build their testosterone, if you're eating, and might I add that now the idea is to have 3D printed meat. You heard that right. 3D printed meat is something that is looked upon as a favorable thing to do in the future. So what does that say for us? Well, first of all, we're not even getting enough nutrients when it comes to our health, when it comes to African Americans or Black Americans and what they're eating. We're eating a lot of fast food. Now, there are some healthier choices that you can make when you're eating fast foods, but unfortunately, convenience and custom and laziness and the hustle mentality that we have going on right now puts people at risk for making poor food choices when you have the ability to not make those choices. So we have to look out for ourselves, because eating bugs is not the answer. Eating Beyond Beef and Impossible Meat and Impossible Burgers and all of those fake meats is not the answer. The same thing with gluing meat pieces together is not the answer. We have to eat real food. And whether you are vegan, pescatarian, meat eating, keto, or whatever you want to call it, eat real food. There are healthier proteins alternatives than fake meat when it comes to Beyond Beef and Impossible Burgers and things like that. There are healthier vegetarian and vegan sources, but you have to do your research and to make sure that you're balancing the nutrients that your body needs. When it comes to controlling the population, I find it very interesting that Bill Gates always looks to the continent of Africa as being a place to control population growth and has been behind the United Nations going in there to protect people, quote unquote, protect people, mothers and their unborn children from deadly diseases that could be wiped out by inoculation. When we see the experiments happening in the United States and we're not really being aware of it because we are sick, fat, and nearly dead from the lack of nutrition that we're getting from these fast foods and from the constant addiction to our phones, to streaming, to video games, to anything that takes us away from the reality of life. It's taking away from our mental cognition and our empathy for one another. Look into it. And before you eat that next piece of meat, you might want to wonder, is it glued together with meat glue, or is it the real thing? If you want to avoid meat glue, it's best to go for a real full cut of beef that you actually get from the butcher and in the restaurants as well. For chicken, I would say the same thing. Eat real food. It will do your body good. Bill Gates, I'm sure, will continue to figure out what else he can do. Now, don't let him ruin your health. Take care, because health is your wealth. If you have any questions about how you can avoid fake meats and avoid eating bugs, comment that down below. And remember to like, share, and subscribe to this channel. And remember, too, that I have a YouTube channel that's Havsom, spelled H-A-V for Victor, S-O-M for Mother. We'll continue the conversation there. Until next time, to your good health, I'm Rosemarie Havsom. Bye-bye.